Hey guys, Liam here from Primal Nomad, hope you're doing well. So you can see I'm down here in the bottom of my garden in the vegetable patch or allotment, and I've actually been able to utilise the lockdown and the opportunity of the COVID-19 pandemic to get down here with my partner Ellie and spend some really nice time planting up and digging over the garden. So we've got a few vegetables starting to seed now, like the carrots and the beetroot, and we're just waiting on the onions and leeks to pop up now. But it's been really nice opportunity to get out here, and you'll see that now coming up. Another thing that I want to announce is actually there's a raffle going on from a good friend of mine called Nigel Outdoors, and that's in collaboration with Military Mart, and all the proceeds are going to Help for Heroes. What Nigel has done is he's taken a normal Polish LAVVU, which is a two-part kind of small teepee. It's both halves are a poncho that you can wear, and he's actually modified these so they have a little skirt at the bottom, which means that when you erect it there's actually more room and more height in the LAVVU, which is just perfect. He's installed zips and he's done all the amazing modifications to make them just a more improved piece of already great kit. I met Nigel at the Bushcraft show last year, and he actually asked me if I could put this out to all my followers and subscribers, so it'd be really appreciated if you could go over to his channel, have a look in his description, watch his video and see how to enter the competition from there. But at the end of this video you'll also see some examples of the modified LAVVU and a little bit from Nigel's episode itself. During the self-isolation, just been turning over the raised beds. Ellie's just doing some hoeing, so just turning it over now. You can see I'm just progressing on this bed. So this is a tool that you turn, you dig in the ground, you turn. Very hard to do it one-handed, but yeah, works really well. My shoulders getting there, so it's good exercise. I'm putting all the weeds in there. So you can see the difference here where it's much finer and there where it's broken down. So that's the idea and the aim, is to try and get it as fine as you can get it, and leaving it overnight to dry like this is really helpful. Having not tended to the garden for a few years, it was really nice to get back out and use this opportunity to work on it. The sturdier plants like rhubarb and strawberry had survived without much intervention, and although the soil was well compacted, all it needed was a good dig over and a removal of all the weeds in preparation for planting. This was therapeutic work for both of us, and was welcome exercise in the lovely weather we'd been having this spring. It's a really therapeutic process doing this, especially with the birds tweeting. Quite often we get visited by robins when we're doing this kind of work. I'm sure a lot of gardeners do. I know my good friends Sam and Josh often comment on how a robin turns up when you're gardening. They're ready for the worms that you're turning up. Take any opportunity when I've turned an area to put any roots or weeds that I do see, so it just helps them spreading or establishing again. And the more you do this, the less there is. But there's a robin right there. All of this gentle labour was not only breaking down the soil and helping the garden, but it was also helping my shoulder to recover, being a gentle kind of physiotherapy that I could rely on to just smoothen things up. And although it could be tiring, I knew it was doing me a world of good. So you can see how some of these bigger lumps are starting to break down now. and it's getting to a good soil texture, especially compared to this. And soon it'll start looking a bit more like this. So I'm just burning the last bit of this eucalyptus here. This was where we trimmed the eucalyptus from, which are our 5 eucalyptus trees. So we've got a little fire going. Remove these poles and then weed in between. I've done up to it. You can see the hoe marks there. You see I've got my little piles around. They go into the wheelbarrow to dry out and they can go on the fire. The eucalyptus burning there has an absolutely beautiful smell. It's yeah, kind of mentally really nice. So in fact over here in my blue tarp, that's a beehive. I've got to get that going this year. It's a shame with all the lockdown. I suspect one of my hives does have a swarm in it though, so I need to go and inspect that soon. I'm going to let this fire burn out now, put some of the weeds on it, and until then I'm just going to keep on hoeing and breaking down the ground. So I'll speak to you guys in a little bit. Sometimes just stepping back is when satisfaction sets in, and you can really admire all the hard work that you've put in. Seeing some prepared beds ready to take plants or further fertilization is ever more welcoming, especially with spring right here. So we've got this last patch starting to be dug up, breaking it down into the different sizes, and that's where the fire was. So just digging that ash in and breaking it down further and further. So you can see guys, me and Ellie are just hoeing up the garden, just breaking up these bigger sections. This is where I've turned it over. We're just using these 2 different types of hose. So Ellie's doing the method, which is you scrape and push forwards and back, which not only loosens the soil but also chops through the bigger sections. You can do this with this rake as well, and the bonus is with this one you can chop like that as well. And like I said before, you can get right in and dig with it. Same for that, you can use it on the corner or an angle, so it's just 2 different types of hose. But we're just working this away. And this is where we're going to have some beans, garlic, courgettes, and a few other little bits and pieces. So just going to keep on digging. So I've been painting the borders now for the raised beds, just to give them that added bit of protection from the elements. So I've been using a mixture of 2 paints together, and it's made a really nice colour. We've done the insides as well, so it's a big difference from the untreated timber. This should just give an air of life to it. This is the mix here, and it's a kind of light orangey kind of fence paint and a dark kind of like clear coat one. So yeah, been digging the earth up even more and more, and it's looking really good. Just going to turn it over one more time. So I've painted all the beds here. We've got the rhubarb going really well. And we're just about to dig over this section now. So this is the last strip where there were some metal poles that we had to move. So that just needs a quick hoe over and a weed, and then turning with the tool, and then we need to hoe it over and break it down even further to something like this. So we've broken it down quite far. There's some stones in there, but it's really good and broken down and loose. It goes all the way down. We've taken in the edges from where we've painted the insides. So there we are. And this is the tool that I've been using for turning. It's quite handy, it's like a hand rotavator.
And actually that tapping you can hear in the background is a resident that we have, resident blue tip. That seems to be a bit akin to a woodpecker.
So it is a baking hot, glorious day. Can't believe it's April. Lockdown, well, I mean, got to look at it positively. The world's on a snow day. We get a chance to spend time with our families and loved ones. If you're lucky enough to. Obviously I'm quite privileged to have my partner here with me in isolation. And I've got my family here as well. So yeah, making the most of it and enjoying it like it used to be, you know, like a summer holiday or something like that. So gonna crack on with this, get it turned over, and then we're gonna do a feed with some fish blood and bone. Got great nutrients, all for the growth, and hopefully it will, you know, feed up the vegetables as they grow, kind of slow release. So we're gonna sprinkle that in, hoe it a bit further, and then water it in. And then we're ready for planting. So looking forward to it. See you soon, guys.
So now the garden bed's been dug over. Ellie's just chopping up the bigger sections of soil with the hoe, and then this allowed us to then break it down a bit further, and what we are going to use is a rotavator. So I've got the extension lead out now, so this is a rotavator we're going to use. So this is an electric one, didn't cost loads, and it's just got some kind of blades on the bottom there that really allow the soil to get broken up and churned. Now it does throw it around this thing, so what I have opted to do in these raised beds is use some board just to rest up against the hedge line to stop any soil going thrown away.
Quite a fair few roots in this area from the weeds, so that's what we're just hoeing out now. Stuff like this, so perfect kind of thing to get out and put in the pile. It just means that your vegetables won't be competing and struggling amongst other growing things. Nice, look at that. A rotavator is welcomed at some points, and it just breaks the soil down that little bit further than you can by hand, or at least in a shorter amount of time. And after digging the rest manually and by hand, it was a welcome change, and I was really looking forward to the results that it would give.
So now the rotavator's been on, It's really, really good and fine. And of course, this is just an extra bonus option. We did do a few of the beds without one of these. And I dug it out and thought, well, we might as well just go over them all. And it's made a big difference. But again, it's not overly needed. And if you did want one of these off of the grid, you can get petrol ones or two-stroke ones. I just put the boards up to catch the dirt from flying out of these beds. And now we're ready to spread some fish blood and bone and let that soak in prep for seeding. Seeing natural wildflowers pop up whilst we worked down in the garden was also refreshing. The great hyacinths could be seen to grow in size daily, showcasing their lovely purples and blues. So just dragging the dirt back from the edges there, so where we fertilise, it doesn't just miss the edges. So we're in the kitchen now, and we've got some fish blood and bone. This is from Wilkinson's, and again this has just got an NPK, or a nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus of 5, and 6. So we're just going to weigh this out. It's about 70 grams per metre square, so we're going to weigh this out for the appropriate sections. So in one of the beds, the big bed that we just finished rotavating, we need about 560 grams. Spread over the whole thing. Hang on, just a bit over. So we've got the fish blood and bone here already measured out. We're gonna put this over the beds here. So we're just gonna sprinkle them as evenly as we can get it, and then hoe it in. Natural fertilizers like fish blood and bone are really good and slow release into the ground. It contains an equal NPK value, which is the nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium values, all important nutrients to plants. Compost is always another viable option, but this was something that we had to hand, and considering the lockdown rules and our inability to go out, that was perfect. Good bit of rationing there, babe. A simple shaking motion out of the plastic pans worked well to distribute it evenly over the ground, and with this light colour it was easy to see where you'd been. So the fish blood and bone has now been put on all of the beds. You can see there that kind of pale powder. So it's now ready to be hoed in one final time and then watered. She's ready to go.
Which one do you want?
I'll have that one, yeah. Thank you. Now we'll just mix this fish blood and bone in. Just gonna level them out while we do that. Break any further big bits down, and then water it in, and just leave it for a day or two. Then we should be planting. It's the exciting stage. So we've got the beds all turned over now. The fish blood and bone is in there. It's all been hoed again to really nice consistency. So that's ready to now water in preparation for seeding. Having the beds freshly painted, dug over, and now wet, it was so pleasing to the eye. And this is just another opportunity to enjoy what could be taken as a mundane task. Filling a plant pot with bark chippings to spread in between the beds to prevent any further weed growth, and also a nice dry area to walk, was again more than pleasing. Gives a nice place to walk out of the mud. You could do this with wood chippings or whatever. Or gravel. So after just putting bark down in the middle, we're now finished for the day, or until we come to plant maybe tomorrow. So looking really, really nice. Strawberries have had a good dig over and have rearranged the fence. So they've had a little turnover around them. I've done the fence to split the rhubarb and the strawberries off. Yeah, really happy with that. It seemed fitting after such hard work and with such good weather to join in with the NHS camp out that had been organised through Facebook. It was in support of the COVID-19 efforts from our healthcare system in the UK, and it was designed for people to utilise their back gardens to camp in. So I decided to put up the LAVVU and start a fire, so me and Ellie could spend some of the evening next to the garden and just enjoy nature, even if it is just at home. Using the Polish LAVVU here, just set up as a half configuration. I'm just going to have probably a little bit of a fire here, with a little fire pit, just something makeshift. It's an old pot I used to slate blind in. And yeah, just really doing it for people at the NHS and for everyone to say thank you to them for all their hard work they're doing through this COVID-19 pandemic. And also, there's something coming up from Nigel Outdoors, and he's been modifying a LAVVU. So this is a normal medium-sized Polish LAVVU. And as you can see, it just goes straight to the ground. Nigel came up with this amazing idea of adding a skirt to it and a little window, so it gives you actually some more space and a bit more room.
So a few of you are probably wondering why it's the back garden, but yeah, it's for an NHS back garden. Camp out, set your tent up in your garden and just do it for the NHS through this COVID-19 pandemic. So I thought, why not? Let's do it. And it also means I can keep a watchful eye over the garden, make sure no cats are getting on it, and also have a little fire, impromptu fire pit, roast some marshmallows, melt some chocolate, and just chill out. It's a lovely, lovely day. Clear skies. And yeah, just feel really privileged to have this silence. It's not often. And there you are, guys. You can just see one of the resident bats in the garden.
You have so much wildlife in your garden.
Good you. There they are, coming up to investigate. Loads of them. So they're flying around now using their sonar to collect tiny, tiny little bugs. And they come ever so close. It's amazing. You can hear their wings. Setting up the LAVVU had been a nice opportunity to relax during the lockdown, and seeing the bats was just another bonus to the night. So if you wish to win a LAVVU that's been modified by Nigel Outdoors, and all the proceeds will go towards Help for Heroes, then stick around to see a little clip from Nigel's episode and see how to enter. So guys, just found a hedgehog in the garden. Really beautiful to see. Our hedgehogs do carry a lot of ticks, so it's a good idea to leave them well alone, and they are quite timid. And this one's starting to walk away now. There he goes. So it's been pretty rewarding actually doing the garden over the last few days. Really happy with it, and it's nice to just spend a bit of time by a fire, something familiar with the LAVVU up. So I'm just going to leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and don't forget to go over to Nigel Outdoors episode to check out how to win a modified one of these bad boys. You won't regret it, and all the proceeds of course go to Help for Heroes. So until then, stay safe and see you soon.
Here we are guys, Nigel Outdoors here. A little bit of exciting news to share with you guys. This is a never been issued size 2 LAVVU. Donated by Military Mart. Dave, thank you very much. And me and Colin had the idea that we wanted to build a modified LAVVU, and we wanted to make money for Help the Heroes. So we've kind of got a few people involved. As I say, we've got Dave from Military Mart, we've got Liam from Primal Nomad. He's going to help us out with some video footage and stuff because he's such a pro. And myself, Nigel Outdoors, and my sidekick, Colin, who's my cousin. And we're the guys that kind of do all this stuff together. We enjoy doing it, so we thought we wanted to give something back to a charity, and they're army based. So we thought, why not Help the Heroes? So I'm going to get the sewing machine out, and we'll take some pictures and some little vids, and Liam can make something up from it. And we shall see what comes out. Thank you very much. It's Colin! Say hello, Colin. Hello!
Don't forget to head over to Nigel's episode to see information on how to enter. And until next time, stay safe and see you soon.